welcome to Dream Garage, the podcast where we put together a dream car collection. Each week there'll be a new theme with a specific budget. We'll browse the classifieds and decide on which car to hypothetically purchase. This week the theme is 90s coupes and the budget is going to be £3,000. So, I've already got Auto Trader open. Let's dive in and find some cars. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to decide on a make and model right now. I'm going to put my budget in, so up to £3,000. Yeah, well, we said it's going to be 90s, so it's got to be from 1990 to 2000. Mileage, I'll leave. Gearbox, I'll leave. Body type, well, obviously we said coupe. Well, it doesn't look like there's many cars, so this might be an easy task. Let's find out what we've got. I'm going to sort by price, high to low. So the first thing, the highest thing we've got is a Peugeot 406. It's a 2 litre. Now, obviously, this is a 2000 year 406. Very pretty cars. I remember when they came out, obviously styled by Pininfarina. I think some people called them like baby Ferraris because they were similar in some ways to the 456. Yeah, nice cars. Could be a contender. I would obviously prefer a V6. Going for the full fat version, but at least it's a manual. It's done quite a high mileage. That's what else we got. XKR. Yeah. Now, obviously, that was brought out in the 90s. That is a quick car, 82,000 miles, automatic. It's amazing what you can pick up for. What price these are going for. Such a lot of car for the money. 4.2 litre V8. Hang on, is this the 4.2? No, sorry. The originals were 4 litres, weren't they? Got that wrong. So, oh, it's got a gearbox issue. That's why it's so cheap. Okay, we'll leave that one there. I don't really want to get into that. Audi Coupe. I've always liked these as well. What a classic shape. This was when Audis were quite reserved. A manual gearbox. Styling on these, again, quite reserved and subtle, but I've always thought they were really, really nice looking cars. Very solid. Not particularly quick. It's a 2 litre 8 valve. Audi Coupe for sale, 1995, 2 litre 8 valve, 12 months MOT, 118,000 miles on it. Great condition inside and out. New brake discs and pads, new clutch master and slave cylinder, new lambda sensor and catalytic converter. Recently had it Krypton tuned for the emissions and it runs beautifully. Cam belt done, all the electrics work. Well, you kind of expect that from these old Audis. They were really well built. Looks like someone spent some money on it. As it says here, these are becoming more and more rare. Yeah, when was the last time you saw one of these? Now this is a red one, a red 90s coupe. I like that. I'm going to save that one and put that in contention. However, there's another one. There's another Audi coupe. This one's only done 71,000 on it. It's a 91, another manual, same engine, 2 litre. This is sort of a greeny grey colour. Which I think suits it really nicely. Some pixelation on the dash errors, but you expect things like that. Now I think these were really well rust treated from the factory because I don't ever remember seeing a rusty one of these, and they must have been galvanised. Were they aluminium? Let's have a look. I'm not sure if they were aluminium. Maybe they're just really well treated. Just had a quite. If you know about these Audis, send me a message. Ford Cougar. Okay, that's it. You know, we've got automatic 2.5. That's a V6. Um, you know, I actually really like those Cougars. I remember I went to the Birmingham Motor Show when I think when they were first revealed in the mid to late 90s when I was younger. I loved it. It had like black leather. It was the same colour as this. Not particularly well loved by the public. They didn't sell well. I mean, it's like the Probe before it. These sorts of coupes never really sold in good numbers. We've got a Mercedes CL. The ABC suspension puts me off on that. There's all sorts of electrical niggles that can go wrong with those CLs, so no thanks. Puma, great cars. Used to have one of these. Used to have a green one. Very, very cool little car. 1.7, very high revving Yamaha developed engine. Issues with rust on these. The wheel arches rusted like anything. The one we had leaked. The parcel shelf would randomly just fall out every time you open the boot. But overall, cracking little drive. I think Evo put it on their top 100 drivers cars at one point actually. This one doesn't have the original wheels on it, which is a shame because those fan wheels are really cool. But it's done a 66,000 miles, $3 grand. I think, to be honest, I reckon you could get a better example for that money. I know it's done a low mileage. Calibra. Now we're talking. I've always had a soft spot for the Calibras. This one looks pretty original. It's got original wheels on it. Cars used to have small wheels, didn't they? They look like 15 inches. Vauxhall Calibra, 2 litre, 16 valve, good engine. Only 2 owners. 97,000 on the clock. No MOT. It's been dry stalled for the last 3 years. Bit of a problem with the driver's door. Lots of service. Okay, so there's some issues with that one. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, well, look, come on, it's 25, 26 years old. It's going to have issues. Yes, I accept that. But let's try and be positive here. Let's try and find a car that might actually not be too troublesome to get on the road. I always think if a car's got a recent MOT, it's been used regularly, it's had money spent on it, like this Audi, that's a really good sign. Corrado, that is probably the same engine, I would imagine, that's in the Audi. Not sure that. I don't know. I like Corrados, but 156,000. I think that might put me off. I know that again, it's an old car. You expect it to have a certain amount of miles, but I'm looking at this overall package. I'm thinking if we can keep it around 100,000 miles, that would probably be better. Especially if we were to ever sell these cars on, hypothetically. Oh, there's another Corrado here, 114,000 miles. It's only, that's just over 2K. A Rover Coupe with a VVC engine, 143. Again, these I think are cool. I mean, it's the same engine, obviously, that was used in the MGF and obviously used in these as well as the BRM edition 200 that came later. Obviously, they had head gasket issues, and you can sort all of that out now. It's going to cost a little bit of money, but this one looks like it's been well loved. The interior needs a thorough clean. Those seats look manky. Cool colour though, really nice sort of 90s purple. Manual, electric windows, alloy wheels. It's done 148,000 miles. CLK, well, that's actually not a 1993, is it? That's 2003. It's been put in incorrectly. A Volvo 480. Okay, so they originally came with a 1.7 Renault engine. This one's got a 2 litre. It's automatic. Cool cars. Don't get me wrong. Cool cars. You know, that wedge shape with the pop-up lights. Got to love pop-up lights. The interior looks quite cool. Nice leather seats. Doesn't really tell you much about the car. Very, very scarce information. It says service history, 2 keys. That's it. I mean, that kind of puts me off. It's a dealer as well. I actually prefer private sales. I like to talk to the owner, find out about the car, and I just think that gives you a good appraisal of, like, have they cared for the car? You can look them in the eye, you can or call them up and find out about the history directly from them. And obviously, if you're buying privately, you don't get the same warranty and peace of mind as a dealership, but that is factored into the price usually, and you can pick up some real bargains at a reduced price because it is a private, and they're usually willing to negotiate as well, a lot more than a dealer would. What have we got here? Another Rover 200. That's an auto. No, I don't think that would suit. I might be wrong, but yeah, a manual Celica for 1,200 quid. 1,200 quid. You know, these, I would imagine. I mean, I know that they did the GT4s. This looks a bit sorry for itself. There's a reason why it's so cheap. It's got bodywork issues, dents all over the place. So, but I've driven one of those. They're quite nice to drive, quite sprightly. 170 brake horsepower. So you know that it's not slow. Now there's not much choice here. Got Prelude, cool cars, a Paseo. Again, like, when was the last time you saw one of those? We've got an Alfa GTV for 950 quid. And it's got the cloverleaf. Sorry, the Teledal alloys on it. Alfa Romeo GTV, 2 litre, 1999, 154,000 miles with good service history. The car drove really well, but it's out of MOT now and needs a new batteries. It cuts out after a while. Yeah, I mean, that happens quite a lot, doesn't it? People fall out of love with these sorts of cars, coupes. They're usually a second car, bit of a toy, a bit of fun. And people sort of just leave them, really, which is a shame, but I understand it. Driven it with a booster attached, it drives fine. It has a fantastic interior. Everything works, including all the switches and dials. Okay, that's good. The aircon is in need of a recharge. Is it in need of a recharge or is it broken? Good tyres all round and has new brakes and discs fitted. Oh, okay. So they spent a little bit of money. Bodywork looks fine from a distance, but it has some faint scratches. But being silver covers it well. Yeah, ever the optimist. So it's not mint. There's things that could be done. But if you want a GTV and don't mind the imperfections or want to bring a car back to her perfect over time, this is the car for you. And it's priced well to consider this. That reads well. The guy seems genuine, or girl, who's selling that car. It looks nice. What's the interior like? Let's have a look. Oh, that is nice. It's got the Momo red leather. That is a really cool car, actually. For 900 quid. 900 quid. I know I said about 158,000 miles, but if the price is right, the price is right. Do you know what I mean? That's a stunning car. Look at it. It's a design classic, I think. Again, another Pininfarina for £950. And I reckon he'd probably negotiate on that price. Okay, let's save that one. And I'm just going to go back over the other results we've got. Paseo, I think they were never a driver's car. If I'm buying a coupe, a 90s coupe, yes, I want it to look good, but I also want to enjoy driving it as well. So that has to factor into it. The Prelude, I like those. It's an auto. Again, that puts me off a little bit. I would prefer a manual. I really enjoy manual boxes. If it's a coupe, again, I don't expect it to be like a sports car, but I would like it to be quite fun to drive and engaging. So let's go back to the first page. And what did we what have we looked at? We've the 406 manual. Now, for £3,000, a 2 litre, 153,000 miles. I think I think you could get a better a better car, better version of that car for that money. I didn't actually look into it. It's had a new engine, fully reconditioned gearbox and clutch. So that's had a lot of money on it. Custom exhaust. I just think I would be forever thinking I should have bought a V6 version of that if I bought a 406. The XKR we discounted because it needs a new gearbox. The coupes, the Audi coupes, 115 brake horsepower. I just think they're quite a heavy car. I don't think they're particularly sprightly. I think it was the same engine that was used in the Golf GTI, which are obviously more expensive. Now I'm going to check that because I don't want to give you false information. And here is like part of the beauty of this podcast. We're going to discover things together. So Audi Coupe engine Golf GTI. What is it? Okay, so this is on Club GTI forum. Someone's said, I assume this is the same engine they fitted to the Mark III Golf GTI. Someone replied, the engine in the Audi might be a bubble block, so it isn't the same as the Mark III. It depends on the year of the Audi. So it looks like it's similar, but not exactly the same. Okay. All right. So 406 Audi Coupe. I did save that. The Cougar. Again, automatic. I think I would want a manual. We've got Puma, Calibra. What did we say about that? It's been dry stored. It's not been used regularly. CLK, I kind of glanced over that one, didn't I? But that's got nearly 200 brake horsepower. These are cheap. And by all accounts, these are really great cars. The thing that lets these down is rust. This era of Mercedes rusted bad. I've always had a soft spot for these as well. I don't think they're particularly pretty cars, but they're not bad looking, and you get such a lot of car for the money. I've got a Nissan Figaro. I haven't talked about that, but that isn't for me. We've got a GTV, another GTV here, 119, another Corrado, automatic. That one's £2,000. Now, is it worth buying one that's £2,000 as opposed to one that's £900? 25-year-old 916 MOT from April. Recent full history, recent full service, including a replacement cam belt. Been maintained by the well-known Alpha Workshop. That's good. Royston. Comprehensive service history. Original logbooks and 3 keys. Auto aircon, Kenwood Bluetooth stereo, puncture repair kit, 2 new tyres. Owned by an Alfa Romeo Owners Club member, yeah. So it's been looked after. And he's used the word Alfisti as well. That looks good. I don't know, but the red leather in the other one really scream 90s to me. And the price as well. Now, if in real life, I would probably go and see both these cars. I would drive them. I would look at all the documents that come with it. This one, doesn't have any images of the service history. This one's got some imperfections on it. I kind of expect that. Depends how bad they are. It depends on if there's any deep scratches or rust or dents. Those sorts of things are problematic. No, I wasn't expecting this, but I've always had a soft spot for these Alphas. This, for the price, I think I'm leaning towards that one. I think if I can go and look at it. So this one is, let's just compare the two Alphas. This one is £2,250. It's done 30,000 less miles, but we're still in 100k plus territory. Now, I know I said that I would rather keep it around 100,000 miles, but I also said that you really have to factor in the price on all these things. Everything has to come together to make the overall package, right? The number plate on the other one has been blanked out, which usually means that there's probably some sort of scary MOT history going on. I don't have the benefit of being able to see the MOT history on that one. This one looks like it's been well cared for and well looked after. It doesn't have the wheels. It doesn't have the interior. But it looks like a well looked after example. Let's have a look at the number plate. So another thing I like to do is go on the government MOT checker. You can just put in the number plate T460 BWL and it tells you the MOT history of that vehicle. T460 BWL. Okay, so it's got an MOT until 19th of April. Passed the last MOT with no advisory, so they obviously sorted out all these issues, which they, should have probably spent a little bit of money on it. So rear brake pipe, front brake pipe corroded, that's a usual one. A leak, lambda reading, fine, all very sortable things, which they have done. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really scary on that. It's got a pretty good MOT history. So this is the thing I recommend everyone doing, is looking through that. If you've got the number plate to hand, I mean, that does look like a good car. It's been well looked after. Obviously, it doesn't have the wheels. It doesn't have the interior. Now, my heart says, get this one, because it's a bargain, right? But is it a bargain? If you've got bodywork and other issues to sort out, what's the damage going to be to your account at the end of it? Yes, it's got the wheels. Yes, it's got the red leather, which I think is really cool. If I was going to buy this car for real, I would, as I say, find out about the history of this car, find out a little bit about the MOT history as well. What has he said in this? Good service history. The car drove really well, but it's out of MOT and needs a new battery as it cuts out after a while. Okay, so I'm going to have to spend 100 odd quid on MOT, on a battery, plus some other stuff that probably needs doing. That's why it doesn't have an MOT. Aircon needs a okay, so all these things are pointing to the fact that this needs money spent on it. I might be able to get it. And this is where I'm sort of, how much money does it need spending on it? It probably needs around £1,000. Just, a ballpark figure, which would still make it cheaper than the other car. Um, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to prioritize this one. I'm going to have a look at it. If it all stacks up and we can agree a price, my target price for this would be £600 or £700. I would make him an offer and see if we can do something. I know it's cheap already, but he might want to get. They might just want to get rid of it. They probably just want to get rid of it because it's sitting around. It needs an MOT. It needs a battery sorting, and it might be just simple things that need doing. So if I can get it for, let's say, £750, which is a reasonable amount of money, I think, then I've still got £1,000 to play with to get this up to a decent standard, and it will still be cheaper than the other one, and it will have the wheels and the interior that I want. So that's it. I know it will have a higher mileage overall, but I think it could be a really nice example with all those things considered. And you never know, it might be less than £1,000. It might just need a new battery and just some use will do it good. So that's it. That is our 90s coupe that we're buying. It's Alfa Romeo GTV, 2 litre, twin spark manual, and I'm going to assume that we can get this for around 750 quid. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week and we'll see what we're going to buy then.